welcome back to my channel. My name is Laura and today I'm doing reviews. So each time I finish a book, I probably will only have 2 books for this video because I am reading very slowly because of COVID. I've been focusing more on my Bible journaling and my artwork and watching TV. So I have been reading, but I just haven't been completing stuff. So I actually joined Kindle Unlimited because I wanted to try to use my Kindle, and I had a free trial for 2 months. And I actually took this book off of the Kindle and I read this on my Kindle. It actually took me 2 months to finish it. I did cancel my subscription to Kindle Unlimited because I don't think it's worth $10 a month unless I was reading more per month. So basically I read this book for $10 for free because I had a free subscription, but if I had to do it on a regular basis and paid $10 a month, this book would have cost me 20 bucks to read. So anyway, the book that I read and finished is called Never Be Alone by Paige Dearth. So I will put the picture up because it was on my Kindle, and I'm going to talk about this book a little bit. Now, I like to read books about child molestation and child abuse and all that. So this book has a lot of it in it. This girl, I think she was 7 or 8 years old. Her whole family gets killed in a car accident, and she goes into the foster system. And she goes to this mom. I don't think there was no dad. There was only a mom there. And this foster mom was very abusive. Now, she physically writes about this abuse that happens to her, and it was cringeworthy. I had a hard time at certain points reading this book because they were torturing her. And it was brutal. But the little girl, she did go to school, which I don't understand how the school didn't pick up on it, because she would go to school with like marks on her body and all that. So yeah. Anyway, she does, I think about 12 years old, she actually escapes this house and she goes and lives on the street. But not only does she live on the street, there's stuff when she's a teenager, she's on the street and she's trying to survive. She is doing all this stuff, and living on the street is not as good as actually being abused. She's also being abused on the street. So this book was really hard to read. At one point she does go into child trafficking, so there is some of that in here as well. So this book is very brutal. If you have trigger warnings, I wouldn't suggest you reading it because there is a lot going on in this book. The author, it's her, Paige Dearth, the author, I actually looked up on Goodreads. She actually suffered from child abuse as a child, so she is continuing to write about these issues and what happened to her and what happened to her children. This is a non-fiction. This is a fiction book, so it is not true. But Paige did suffer these things during her childhood, so she kind of writes about it. So anyway, I'm giving this book 4 stars. I dropped it down a star because it is very brutal and has lots of trigger warnings. There's sexual content. There's there's lots of stuff in here that are very cringeworthy. I did enjoy the book. It did keep me reading because I wanted to know what happened to this girl. And yeah, so I probably will be reading more of her books because I do enjoy reading that type genre. Yeah, so that's it for this book. 4 stars. And I will probably be checking out more of her books. So yeah, stay tuned for my next review. I finally finished another book. This one I had out from the library. I read another Danielle Steel book. So the book that I got from the library is called, this one, it is called The Numbers Game by Danielle Steel. I just finished it. I actually picked this up from the library. I started reading it. I couldn't put it down. It took me a couple of days to read it, but it's not that short. This book is told in many multiple POVs. The first one is about a wife who marries a guy because she got pregnant at very young age. I think she was like 16 or 17 years old, and she marries this guy. He stays with her all the way to the daughter turns 17 years old, and he winds up cheating on the wife. It's in the synopsis, so I'm not giving you any spoilers there. So he does wind up cheating on the wife, and then the other POV is the woman that he's cheating on, which is, she's in her 30s, so she's like 10 years younger than him. And then there is her family, so it goes into her family, and it's her mother and her grandmother, so it goes on from the woman who's cheating. So I don't like cheating books. I really like the beginning. I like the beginning story that she married her husband. I really like that part, but the beginning was really good, and then I just didn't want to finish it. I didn't care about the woman who he cheated on. So I'm giving this one 3 stars. I did finish it, but it's not my favorite of Danielle Steel's. I know she's written better books than this one, and I just don't like that trope of cheating. So yeah, so that's what I'm giving it. 3 stars. I'm glad I picked it up from the library and I didn't buy it. But I do still like Danielle Steel's writing. It's just not, this one was not my cup of tea.